Today I'm watching Peaky Blinders Season 6, Episode 6, the season finale, the series finale. This is it. One more episode to go. I'm very nervous and it's going to be bittersweet for sure. We've gone through a lot with the Shelby family throughout the season, so I'm very anxious to find out how it all ends, what the fate of Tommy and this battle between him and Michael will be. We had that very ominous ending at the last episode where Michael basically says he's going to kill Tommy. Uncle Jack's gonna help Michael get out of jail, and we all know Michael and Tommy have had this feud for a while now, so I'm very curious to see how that's gonna come to an end. They've been very separated for this season, so I feel like it's gonna be a long-awaited return. I hope they give each character in the family a few scenes so we find out what happens to them. Some episodes have been solely focused on just Michael and Tommy. I hope we get to see about Ada and Arthur. Finn got married in the last episode. We also have Lizzie. Linda's back. There's this new character of Duke, Tommy's son, as well. Alfie is around somewhere. We haven't seen him in a while, but we know he's still alive. I really enjoyed this series, and it's been so well done. Visually, so well done. So well written. Really a character-driven story, and I'm very curious to find out more about the historical Peaky Blinders, as I know these are maybe loosely based on real-life characters. I will do some more research once I finish watching, but thank you so much for sharing in this first time watching with me. If you have any other suggestions for TV shows you think I should watch, please comment below. And if you want to have a say in what movies or TV shows I watch, be sure to join Patreon. And as always, please like, comment, and subscribe to this channel, and check back often for more awesome content. True to his word. Yeah, he's getting out. Oh my gosh. And that last shot of him in the last episode breaking the fourth wall.
First. After you fucked your wife, you're going to kill a man, right?
She might be occupied with Mosley, but here's hoping. And they've used the framing of doorways a lot in season finales, so I'm very excited. And no theme song, again, just right into it.
But now your rings are gone. Your rings are away.
Oh, shoot.
Already packed.
She's leaving him.
Now leave me to say goodbye to Ruby.
And Lizzie has no idea that he has this illness.
He's never here.
But I think that would be just the heartbreaking for Tommy.
You can go. You can go, son.
Really? Wow.
Place. After a while, he'll listen to you. He'll forget about Ruby.
Oh no, not Ruby.
Go there.
Dad. Where will you go?
And neither of them have any idea that he's sick. And I feel like Tommy wants to be a good dad.
Can you keep a secret?
His family is built on secrets, so that's pretty important.
I know. I stole your keys.
Oh, Arthur found out. Uh-oh. He's the only one that knows.
Now I'll have a certificate. Whatever it is, I'll get the drinks in and I'll wait for you.
Yeah, I feel like Arthur wouldn't be long without Tommy.
It's funny, Arthur. It's funny is what it is.
Yeah, it's interesting that this would be how he goes. Oh.
Is that all you think you are, eh? Hmm? Stand up.
Yeah, that's sad. He thinks nobody cares about him and they just see him as like this wallet, basically.
The ashes for silver and gold.
And your plans!
Yeah, I'd understand why he'd be angry. They're so close, and they're the only ones that are left, basically. Like, they've lost so much, and for Tommy not to say anything, like, Arthur just found it. And Tommy's the one who's dying, and he has to consult Arthur, and Arthur's just can't. I can't imagine how Arthur would cope.
I'm still here. Put yourself together, come on. We're right now.
But Arthur, I feel like, has the weight of the world on his shoulders right now. Like, if it's just him left, and he's never exactly been stable.
Are you sure you want Billy? I had to shut up the shop.
Yes, we want Billy.
Billy's a spy. Don't trust him.
Johnny Dogs has already sailed for Canada. Michael will be there. Michael is family.
That's... Yeah, right. That's not true at all.
Leave it.
I love this bar set, and Gina's apartment is so cool. I love the style, the furniture, everything is so cool. And who could this be?
We'll all be together on Sunday. But Arthur will be having dinner with his wife at the bar at the Garrison Tavern.
So he'll be alone. Oh.
At least he'll die without pain.
Yeah, I feel like Michael was okay with killing Tommy. I don't think he calculated adding an Arthur to the mix.
Tommy has a son.
He's a kid.
Kids grow up.
They want to kill off Duke, too?
Kids.
The informant also mentioned a new boy named Duke.
Oh, we wanted to kill Charlie and Duke.
Michael, baby. Everything's been agreed.
By who? Gina is so cold.
Give them what they want.
Oh my gosh, this plan escalated really quickly.
This is a list of all land-owning families facing foreclosure.
He's like, I'll just casually make a paper plane.
You'll have to cross the floor, because I refuse the Tory benches.
Oh, well, at least he's got that, you know, as his principal. And now I'm starting to think that Tommy slept with Diana just to push Lizzie away, knowing that she would say something, obviously, and he didn't want to have Lizzie watch him slowly die. Oh, hello, Mosley.
That if you so much as look in my wife's direction, I will have you killed.
He's like, oh, it's fine if you sleep with her now, but as soon as we're married, all bets are off. And having the show end where it started as well. When we had the first episode with Michael and Tommy meeting in the same place.
It says your second best quality after your baking is you don't ask questions.
It's highly valued in the Shelby family, yeah.
The rest of the rooms are free. If you want to use them while you wait.
Our friend will be here by the time it gets dark.
Yeah, I'm back in the same bar as well.
Maybe God's done your job for you, Mickey. Huh? My name is no Mickey.
How do you really feel? Duke, what do you have planned? That was very suspicious.
Lights on, eh? There's no longer any power in the house of Thomas Shelby. Why not?
I feel like that meant more than just the electricity, the power in the house of Shelby. Oh!
We can do whatever we want in this house.
He's gotten a little bit of power.
Bodies, yeah? Billy? Yeah.
Gotta wait until all the bodies are buried before you start digging them back up.
Oh my, that's a threat.
Step back and give me a bit of light there, boys.
That's what he was driving around with? Dynamite in the backseat? Makes sense why I was telling him to avoid potholes now. I don't want to lose Arthur. He's one of my favorites. But he obviously knows it's a setup. Oh, Linda's nowhere to be seen. I feel like they invited Billy because they know he's a spy. They know he's the mole, so they wanted him there to relay that information, obviously.
Yeah, don't slam any doors.
I thought it would be, like, weapons would be involved. Not that this isn't a weapon, but I was thinking, like, firearms, not a literal bomb in the back of the car. Oh my gosh.
It's just a pity I didn't have the guts to shoot him face to face.
Right? That's what I thought.
Big fish. Poisson. Grande. Go on.
Yeah, hopefully they get out of there in time. Oh, Billy.
Just take the gun and do it.
Take the gun.
But Finn and Billy were kind of friends? Like, they've been hanging out? I don't know.
You have the gun. Finn, you have the gun. Use it on these fucks.
Oh! No bullets. They don't trust him, obviously. Well, you showed your hand, Finn.
Old Uncle Charlie.
Oh! Bye, Billy. Oh my gosh. Yikes. Oh, Finn, the trauma. The trauma is real.
Shelby family. By order of the Peaky blinders.
He's like, hey, that's my line.
Come for you. I'll come for you.
Are they trying to set it up like these are the new Tommy and Michael? Like if there was further seasons, episodes, whatever, spin-off, whatever might happen? I know there's a movie. Finn's kicked out of the family, and he does not seem like he'll make it on his own. I don't have high hopes for him.
Your man to drop it. Order him. MC, go and tell him.
They knew you were coming. You're busted, man. Who's this? What? What? Such a cool shot with like the fog and the steam in the background. And just having the sporadic strobe lights appear. Somebody got shot. They're gonna shoot each other? Oh god. Was that Arthur? It was a quick shot. Oh no. Oh! And playing this like horrible hide and seek behind the pillars. Okay, it wasn't Arthur. Oh, my heart. They've been doing a lot of really quick zooms in this episode as well. I haven't seen a ton of film noir films, but this feels very much like the style with these guys hiding, you know, in the street, in the dark, in the shadows.
For the chosen one to reveal himself.
Oh my god, ask and you shall receive. Oh my god. What? Are these kids playing with bullets? What are they doing? Come on.
And charm the old keepsake from Passchendaele.
Grenade. What wartime relic did they keep? Oh, gas masks. That's gonna be a horrible way to go. Oh my gosh, Arthur! Oh my god! Just emptied an entire gun into that person. That's nightmare fuel. This looks like something out of like a horror zombie film, like this post-apocalyptic with the smoke and the gas masks.
It was Elizabeth Gray. She was my Aunt Polly.
Oh, shoot.
Polly.
Vengeance is for the Lord.
Oh, bye.
Not in small league, it ain't.
No. Revenge is all they know, basically. I was wondering when they were gonna... Yeah, I was wondering when they were gonna get revenge for her. Like, they had an entire season. Oh, man. And I'm glad they didn't leave the series without, you know, wrapping up that story for Polly.
$5 million.
Let's go.
Don't get in that car. Oh, Tommy's gotta know something's up.
I'll go with Tommy. You boys follow behind.
Yeah, if it's just the two of them in the car. Mm-hmm. Come on, figure it out. Something's wrong. Get out of the car. Get out of the car. He didn't forget anything. So tense. Oh my gosh. Come on, Tommy. And this like swelling music just builds the tension. I can't believe that would be the end of Tommy. I can't believe they would do it like that. There's no way. He's gonna come walking through that door. I don't doubt the bomb went off, obviously. We saw that.
My God, forgive me.
And he's been breaking the fourth wall with these monologues as well. The show's always so clever with its editing, so I'm sure something happened.
Goodbye, Michael. Goodbye, Johnny.
Yeah, say your goodbyes.
I'm gonna go.
Yeah, time to get out of here. Oh, bye, Johnny.
Choices, Michael.
No. No one close to you makes a choice without your opinion, Tom.
100%.
Not Arthur. Not me.
Everyone has his permission. Yeah.
Still visits me in my dreams. She'll visit me no more.
Wow. Bye, Michael. I knew one of them had to go. And I didn't think it would be... Yeah. I didn't think it'd be Tommy. I thought the illness would get him before anything with Michael would, but... I didn't think Tommy would have any reservations about shooting Michael. That wasn't the worry. The only thing I thought might deter Tommy is if this illness prevented his cognitive abilities, which clearly isn't the case. Or if he was shaking or something happened. Obviously, it was a very intense situation. Oh, God. I'm glad they kind of had... It was very brief, but I'm glad they at least had a little bit of a showdown. And now you'll have Michael haunting your dreams, and Polly. I don't feel like she's going away either. I knew they wouldn't kill off the main character. I mean, I shouldn't say that the show's not over yet, but... It would be a very different show without Tommy, for sure.
I'm not blind. It's the eye. It's the eye of a dead man. Dead men can see through life like it was a curtain.
It did shoot him in the eye.
Who on Judgment Day is probably truly when the other shoe drops.
Yep. I feel like that's accurate.
All this time, just you and me. And I crossed the line.
I'm glad we get one more scene between these two.
Shall we go and witness the final act?
I'm terrified as to what that is. I'm so glad those two got one last scene together. Their like chemistry and just the way the banter back and forth. And there's like one of the few moments where there's some comedic elements, as they typically make fun of each other. And it's so rare for there to be comedic elements in the show. So is it just Tommy and Ada now with the Shelby name, basically? Although Ada still goes by Freddie's last name. I guess he got exactly what he wanted, to be alone. Yep, they're gonna blow it up! Oh my gosh, Tommy wouldn't do anything without a grand display of destruction. It's a beautiful house. I'm going to assume that was 99% CGI.
It is shelter from the storm. Sometimes it is the storm itself.
I feel like that's very accurate for the Shelbys, yeah.
And if ever a seat is to become available in this ugly old city, you should run.
I don't think she's ever thought about that.
You're going, Tommy. There will I be. Very soon. Love, Arthur.
Oh, no. Arthur knows what that means.
I want you to be the best.
No. This is his goodbye party. Forever. Curly. Oh. And now Duke has a Peaky Blinders haircut. I wonder if everybody, like, without knowing, knows that he's not coming back.
What does that mean? Where are you going? Tommy!
That's so horrible for them to not know, and, like, when will they find out, and how will they find out? Like, oh, just always wondering what happened to him and if he's coming back. What, is this like his daily routine? Flips a coin and decides if today's the day he's gonna end it? And I like this angle of the really low grass in the foreground. I don't want to watch this, Tommy, no. Come on. This can't be how it ends. And this distorted mirror shot. Ruby. I think he's hallucinating.
You're not dead. You're not even sick.
What? What?
I'm sick. Sick like he was.
No, not true.
What? What?
And you will see that you must live.
A misdiagnosis? What? Yep. That's the name I thought we were gonna see.
Said, have you filled the car with petrol?
Oh!
I hear Chancellor Hitler himself was the best man.
Yes! That's horrifying.
Oh, and the doctor at St. Thomas's. Who you sent me to for the second opinion, second set of x-rays.
I was like, you gotta get a second opinion, but he did. Oh my god.
Very well connected. And then he's Halford.
They lied to him. Oh, no, 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 no. Poor Tommy. This whole time.
Whoever killed Thomas Shelby is Thomas Shelby himself.
I mean, they're not wrong.
You made me believe death was coming.
Yes!
Let my nature do the rest, eh?
Basically. They knew it would happen eventually. Oh my gosh.
You are no longer the kind of man who would kill another man in cold blood.
I think he's about to prove that wrong.
Go back. You are a different man.
I'd like to hope so, but...
Oh, but I am back.
I think that fire is lit. He is back.
Close your eyes.
What? 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 Oh my gosh. I mean, I didn't want Tommy to die, but I didn't think this was where this was going. Oh, man.
Peace at last.
Oh! Cheese and rice. Saved by the bell, literally. Okay. He's not gonna kill the doctor. Maybe he has changed. Oh my gosh. And this tilted angle as he walks away. He's like, I blew up my house, man. And they're gonna burn down his caravan. Oh. Yep. Just in time. There he is. Burning everything he had from his past. The only things he brought with him, his treasures. Maybe that'll finally force him to say goodbye, as that's how they have their funerals, is by burning the caravan. Heartbreaking. And framed in the doorway again. I love it. Oh, so cool. Riding away on his white horse. And now he's going to start anew, basically. He's burned the past to the ground, unintentionally, but oh my gosh, where's he going? Oh, man. That's not how I thought it was going to end, but it's a good ending. Movie or not, I think that's a good ending. Maybe he'll start over somewhere new. Maybe he'll go back to his family. Who knows? But I just like that they kept it kind of open-ended. So that was my first time watching Peaky Blinders Season 6, Episode 6, the season and series finale. What a way to end it. I really liked the ending. It's definitely not what I was expecting. I thought Tommy was going to meet his demise either through Michael, through this illness that we thought he had. I thought he was going to be done. I definitely suspected they were going to kill him off in this episode. The only thing that made me think maybe they'd keep him around was possibly a movie that's coming out. I don't know very many details about it. I haven't seen anything. I do know there is one, but I think it would be very difficult to have a movie without him in it. So I feel like that was my only hope, was that they would keep him around for the movie. That doesn't mean they wouldn't have done backflashes or anything like that to have Tommy still incorporated if he was killed off in this season. We've seen lots of other Shelby family members killed off throughout the 6 seasons, so I wouldn't have been surprised if they went that route. It's a very creative team, very well written. So again, I wasn't sure where they were going to go. And just that last shot of Tommy riding away on his white horse and having his caravan with all of his belongings from his past burned to the ground. Obviously, he didn't set the fire, but now he has nothing to go back to as far as memories to remind himself. I don't know where he's going. Nobody knows where he's going. He just rides off, whether we assume he's going back to Lizzie, to Charlie, to Ada, to his family at all, or if he's going to start a whole new life, a brand new chapter. You know, he was saying he's, found peace, the 11th hour armistice. So whether he's really going to reinvent himself, which I feel like is something he could definitely do. He has the resources and the power to do that. Or if he's going to use that photo of Mosley's wedding as fuel and try and take down Hitler. I have no idea where he's going. Very interesting, but I love that they kind of left it open-ended like that for the audience to interpret what it's going to be. It wasn't a cut and dry ending. I was worried Tommy was going to unalive himself, as that's what they were setting it up to be, and at first I thought it was a hallucination of Ruby, because again, we were told the illness brought around hallucinations, but obviously that wasn't the case. He just had a dream about her, I'm guessing, and she was right, go light the fire. And as soon as he goes to do that, he sees that photo and realizes his doctor is very connected and obviously had ulterior motives as to why he wanted Tommy gone. He was paid, who knows, but has obviously got these connections that thought Tommy would take himself out if he was given this illness, which almost happened. It was so close, just about to happen. And then he was saved by the last minute, just like, he spared that doctor. I don't know what that doctor is going to do. Obviously, whoever was working with the doctor to get him to tell Tommy that he had this illness and faked those x-rays, or they were obviously somebody else's x-rays that he showed Tommy. If that person is now going to try and go after Tommy, because obviously somebody wants Tommy dead. Lots of people want him to be not around anymore. They just didn't want to do the legwork. They wanted him to do it himself. It was definitely a heartbreaking goodbye when we have that final dinner scene outside with everybody at this table. Lizzie wasn't there, Arthur wasn't there, but for him to say goodbye basically in his own way by having this party and inviting everybody, and just the look on Ada's face when she knows something isn't right. And I wish we would have had more of Ada this episode. Her story is kind of unresolved. I feel like they spend more time on other characters, but for her, Tommy's only advice is like, oh, you would have been the great politician, and maybe that's where we're supposed to leave her character, that one day she would run for office. But I feel like her character definitely took a backseat in this season, and calling back to a previous conversation with Ada, telling her, you got to carry the bucket now because I'm out, basically, or that was Tommy's mentality. So I hope at the very least Tommy reaches out to his family and says, like, I'm okay, even if he doesn't come home, like, even if he sends them a letter or phone call or whatever and says, like, I'm in Boston, I'm fine, just some kind of touch point, because I'm sure they probably would have figured out that he is passed. And if Arthur is planning on unaliving himself because he thinks Tommy's passed away, like, there's just, I hope those lines of communication happen, because I would hate to see something happen when Tommy is actually still around. And I'm sure he would feel very guilty if Arthur went through with that and Tommy turns out to be okay. Obviously, he just found out. There wasn't any post-credits. There wasn't any, 5 years later time jump. It was literally just that beautiful visual shot of him riding his horse away through the fire and being framed by that doorway. So cool. The visuals in the show have always been so well done, and even the tilted angle with him and the doctor while he's walking. No theme song for our last episode, but they did have some really good music choices, as there's very little dialogue in the last few scenes with Tommy in the caravan and just those quick lines with him and the doctor, and then the songs are kind of carrying, the story. Now that I've seen this episode, I feel like Tommy slept with Diana just to push Lizzie away, because I feel like even though he cares about her, he doesn't want her there to find out what's going to happen to him or what he thought was happening, or for her to, potentially watch him die. So he was pushing everybody away so that he could be alone and die by himself, basically. It was heartbreaking to see him tell Charlie, his son, hey, yeah, go with Lizzie, basically. And that felt like such a big moment. Like, I feel like you really saw how much he cared about his son at that point, because selfishly, I'm sure Tommy wants to keep his son around and have memories with him and as much as he can before he's gone. But at the same time, he thought his illness would really prevent him from being very present. So for him to basically, I don't want to say give up, but to tell Charlie it's okay for him to go with Lizzie. And we know how protective Tommy is of his family, especially his children. So I think that was a really tough decision for Tommy to make. And for Duke to kind of become a 180, complete member of the family now. He kicks Finn out, says don't come back, basically, has the Peaky Blinders haircut, and we see Finn does try to kill Duke because he doesn't want to kill Billy, and he was told don't put bullets in when you give the gun to Finn, and obviously that worked out to be in his favor. I don't know what the fate of Finn looks like, if the movie will be this revenge story of Finn coming back, who knows. I don't feel like that's really his character. I feel like he was just caught up in this because it was his family. He was the youngest after all, and it seemed like the youngest by a bit. I'm glad we had one more scene between Alfie and Tommy, the two of them together. I think after Luca and Greta, Alfie is my next favorite. It's just when the two of them are on screen, you just can't help but be glued to your screen and just watching, the back and forth, and the writing's so well done, and they just both give such great performances. I'm glad they incorporated a few shots of Polly as well as the voiceover, as heartbreaking as it is, and obviously we saw Arthur was able to finally get revenge on the IRA for Polly's death, which was heartbreaking, but it would have been so tough to wrap up this season without having that come to an end, as that's how we started, with Polly passing away, and then to have Arthur, finally, after this long shootout, be able to tell the IRA to their face, basically, like, this was her name, you killed her, I'm here for revenge, and doesn't even let her finish her sentence before he shoots her. That whole scene, that shootout in the streets where they're hiding behind the pillars, and you've got the smoke from the street and the sparks lighting it up, and just the way that they're like ducking and hiding behind these pillars felt like a very twisted game of hide and seek, but also reminded me of those film noir movies from the 40s. I haven't seen a ton of them, but it was definitely that style, and obviously the clothing kind of matches that time as well. Such a well done show visually, and they always put such care into their shots and putting all those little details into everything, and the lighting has always been so well done as well. Their use of natural light and practicals, so cool. I always appreciate the effort they put into the lighting, because I feel like that can make or break a show, and they really helped capture the mood and the tension and just the entire setting, which to me is a character within itself in the show as well. They were also setting it up like Arthur might be killed off, and Gina talking to Michael about potentially killing off Charlie and killing off Duke as well, so that there would be no one left to claim the throne, basically. Once Tommy is gone, it would just be Michael. I don't know what Gina's gonna do now that she finds out Michael's gone, what her plan is. It was a longer episode as well, I think about an hour and a half, which I was fine with, obviously, as a season and series finale. I'm glad they took the time and had some longer scenes. I'm glad they didn't want to rush through anything to meet a certain, broadcast time limit, as this is on Netflix as well. I hope they'd have a little bit more creative freedom as opposed to being on TV with the set, time blocks. I do feel like the doctor lying to Tommy about this illness inadvertently restarted him, like it's just kick-fired his personality mentality. And even if he was thinking about leaving and maybe not handing it off to Michael, but even if Tommy was thinking about retiring, before this diagnosis, now he's nowhere near that. Now he's like, I've gone that path and I'm going to go the complete opposite direction. I think he's going to be back in full force with a vengeance, whatever the next chapter of this story looks like. And like I said, even without a movie, I feel like this is a good ending. If you only watch the series and this is the last, scenes you see of Tommy Shelby, I feel like that's a good way to wrap it up. And somewhat of a happy ending for him, I guess, which I wasn't expecting considering the horrible things his character has done. And even though in Tommy's mind they were justified, but him sparing the doctor at the end and talking about peace, maybe he truly is going to find a less violent way of surviving. It's not like Tommy has a house to go back to. He literally blew it up to smithereens. So there's, nothing really to go back to. He has to start fresh with everything. So yeah, I'm very curious to see what his next move will be. I'm sure he's already pre-planning it. I wasn't expecting Duke to play such a big role in this episode, especially the last episode. I don't know what they were trying to set up for his character, or to just show in a short time that he's fully into the Peaky Blinders now, as he, takes this house cleaning operation hostage basically. And obviously we see him, kick Finn out, and now he's kind of taken Finn's place. And even that scene between Finn and Duke, I was like, is this trying to mirror, Tommy and Michael, as the new kid shows up and is trying to take over already and kicks Finn out, whereas Finn would be representing Tommy in this situation. So yeah, I'm very curious to see if that rivalry, if that storyline will be picked up in the movie. It was interesting to think of Tommy being taken out by this illness, considering, what do you say, like all the bullets I've missed, and him surviving World War I and coming home and having PTSD and surviving all of these fights that he's been in. He was like, not a gun or a bullet, and all the dangerous situations that he's been and narrowly escaped. And this is what it would come down to, was, his own body fighting against him, basically. It's not an enemy, although obviously there was plenty of those. And then just his newfound lease on life when he discovers that he's fine. Obviously, there's still something, mentally that he's struggling with, but physically he doesn't have this looming illness over his head. The showdown between Michael and Tommy was short-lived, and I'm glad they didn't just have Tommy's story end with the bomb in the car, because that felt very anticlimactic, and they felt like, as a viewer, you wanted to see more. I knew when we had that shot of Michael sitting at the bar, and it was interesting to have that come back as well, as that's where we saw them meet in the first episode, so have them back there in the last episode as well. The show does a great job of tying things back in, so I really loved that. And to have that scene where Tommy's saying like, oh wait, thanks Johnny for switching the cars, basically, thanks for, putting the suitcase in the other car when they weren't looking, and obviously we saw that car explode. And I knew Tommy knew something was up, because he's been 2 steps ahead of everybody this entire time, and especially Michael. I didn't think Michael would be able to outsmart him, so he obviously knew something was going on. And they were like, oh, just get in the car and we'll go. There was no pleasantries, there was no small talk, basically. It was just straight to business. They both knew they were there to kill each other. And to have that moment where Johnny and Michael are basically saying goodbye to each other, but they know it's goodbye forever. And Michael tells Johnny, like, you're a good man. It's like, this guy is working for the person who's trying to kill you. Like, that, right? I don't know if he thought that would save him, or if he's just trying to, get his last words out. There was no, give my love to Gina or nothing like that. It was just looking at Tommy and knowing that this is the last. Although I don't believe that Tommy won't be haunted by Polly anymore. I feel like now he'll be haunted by Polly and Michael, and I think every person Tommy has taken out haunts him in some way or another. And we knew between Michael and Tommy, one of them wasn't making it out of this episode alive. They had been setting it up this entire season. There's no way they weren't going to end with it. It would have been so bizarre if they just would have completely ignored it. I do wish it had been more of a longer showdown, a bit more tense. I feel like they put a lot more emphasis on Arthur's, showdown with the IRA and trying to get revenge on Polly, which was, I'm glad they did. But then when we got to Michael and Tommy, it was like a 10-minute scene, anything crazy like that. There was more time spent on building up the music in the car, waiting for this thing to go off. and then when they actually talk, it's a couple lines basically, and that's the end of it. And for Tommy to go for basically planning his death and planning on giving away all of his wealth, which maybe he still will, to now he's got this new life ahead of him. And yeah, I'm very curious to see what's in store for that character. I know the Peaky Blinders are loosely based in history as well, so I'm very curious to look up more about those characters. We did see characters from history throughout the show as well. Obviously, he mentioned Adolf Hitler. We had Churchill, Mosley, all of these real people in the show, so I'm very curious to find out, now that I finished watching, who the actual Peaky Blinders were, if they just took the name and then, you know, went from there, or if there is an actual Tommy Shelby, you know, in the Shelby family. Overall, I really enjoyed the last episode. This entire series and show has just been so well done from start to finish. My favorite season is probably the one with Luca Changretta and Adrian Brody. I just felt like both of their performances were magnetic, and it was just such a thrill to watch the two of them, these master actors, you know, playing off each other. So well done. We've definitely lost some family members throughout the seasons, and it's been interesting to see how that affects Tommy, where his character is going to go. I do feel like he's changed over the course of the seasons. Whether we see that or not, he's not very forward. He tends to keep things very bottled in, so it's sometimes hard to know what he's thinking or where he's going. But I feel like, you know, with his last act of sparing the doctor and, you know, riding off in his white horse, to me, those are signs of hope, and that possibly, you know, he's going to make some different choices going forward. We know he is very resourceful. We know he's a very smart character, and we know he thinks that he's doing the right thing. He obviously uses people, manipulates them as well, but I feel like in his mind, he's doing that for the right reasons. However, he wants to justify it to himself, but I don't think he's a cold-hearted killer. I feel like he's conflicted and trying to find a better life for himself and his family, as he starts off, you know, working class and trying to, you know, the betting and the sports gambling and fixing the races, and, you know, Billy Kimber at the very, very start of season 1, and look at how far we've come. And over the 6 seasons has spent 20-ish years, if I'm doing the math correctly, considering when we start in season 1 to where we're ending now. So a pretty big time span for an entire series as well. I wish we would have had a happier ending for Arthur, or some kind of ending. They'd leave it aloof, basically, with him not being at the dinner and saying that he was going to unalive himself. I hope that's not the case. Linda is back in his life, so maybe that can help turn things around. Ada, again, they left very kind of open. There was no concrete ending for her. Finn is gone. Unfortunately, we lost Polly, Ruby, John. Michael's gone now as well. We've got Duke in the picture. Billy's gone. We lost Grace, which I think had a huge, huge impact on Tommy and his character, obviously. I think that few episodes where they're together and happy, I think, is the only time we actually see Tommy truly happy. I wasn't surprised he was never going to let Lizzie in. I feel like Lizzie really cared about Tommy, but he wasn't willing to take that chance. Amazing visuals, the cinematography, the lighting, sound design, everything is so well done. And when you get those 3 things, it's a miracle, and it's just such a gift for a viewer to experience the show like that. And as much as I want more, I'm glad they didn't drag it out for 30 seasons or something ridiculous, and the characters now in these convoluted storylines. I'm glad they kept it to the point, and each episode was really engaging. With the movie withstanding, again, I'm very curious to see where that's going to take the Shelby family. I am a little sad we didn't get to hear the theme song one last time for this episode. It's so iconic to the show. We've had covers of the theme song and different music throughout, but just that one last time would have been great to hear it. But thank you so much for sharing in this first time watching with me, whether you've been sharing since I first started watching Peaky Blinders or you just joined. Either way, thank you so much. It really means a lot to me, and I'm so glad I get to share this experience with you. If you have any other suggestions for TV shows you think I should watch, please comment below. And as always, please like, comment, and subscribe to this channel, and check back often for more awesome content. And neither of them have any idea that he's sick. This family is built on secrets, so he's like, I'll just casually make a paper plane. That's what he was driving around with, dynamite in the backseat, and playing this like horrible hide and seek behind the pillars. Oh, gas masks. I did shoot him in the eye. What, is this like his daily routine? Flips a coin and decides if today's the day he's gonna end it?